right, welcome back to the For the Badge podcast. It's been, it's been a tough one past couple of days. Must say, Arsenal fans crying in the coffee this morning. It has been a rough one. But hey, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell on. You know what time it is. All right, still hurting, Lewis. I'm still hurting. It still hurts my heart. And as you guys are now on top, you guys have taken the driver's seats. I'll give that to you as well. Go ahead. What'd you think?
Arsenal played really well in the first half. The goal was based on a mistake. But again, I thought they played really well. It was interesting to see the City tactics. Even Pep called it out and said they were trash, and they just went right back to what they do in the second half. I think that the first half was really feeling it out to see what they could get from them, and Arsenal really controlled the flow. But it was interesting because they pushed City to play long balls, which was what Holland wanted them to do. And then in the second half, they didn't play any balls like that, and Holland changed how he played. And it was funny because there was a couple of times you saw a smirk on his face when he was marked up against Gabriel. He could not wait. Like, he was salivating to go at him. And he dominated him, man. And I know I made a comment about strikers before. He's getting better. And it's funny because I've seen other people say, and I think he's taken the criticism a little personally, where he said City is not better with him in it. And so they played the style to him in the first half. And in the second half, he adjusted to the team. And my God, even though the goals, one of the goals for sure was a mistake from Arsenal. Because again, Arsenal didn't play awful. I don't want, even though the scoreline was 3-1, they didn't play awful. Like, they're still better than 90% of the league. They're still better than everyone else.
97% of the league.
Yeah,
What it looked like
97%.
is, and being 1,000% honest, they looked nervous, man. That you could see nerves, and I think the nerves were there because they knew City took them seriously, and like Arsenal's used to getting the other team's best and hoping that they can sneak one. City don't play against them like that. They said, "Okay, we take you serious. We're gonna play you like you're us," and that's what they did. And they said, "If you make mistakes against us, we're gonna make you pay." And Arsenal had some shots. They were off target, and I think that was just nerves, man. It's weird because the next Arsenal City game is after Arsenal plays like some serious games. So they have a run coming, and I think they'll maintain. And like, I think they're gonna smack the next opponent. But they have a run, and it will actually matter depending on the run on how much they value Europa. Because Jake, you kind of put it out there. Do you go after Europa or do you go after the league? Because everyone knows that City's going after Champions League. Yes, obviously they want to win the league, but the whole focus is on Champions League.
The
So
City would gladly trade a league for a Champions League.
I think I said it at the beginning of the year.
Right,
I would
1,000%.
absolutely. You can have the league.
We've done
if we
it.
win
We've
Champions
been
League.
there. Trust me, we
You can win
know.
the next 5. I don't even
We
care.
know.
You
We
can
don't
win the
care.
next 5.
Yep, we don't
Champions League,
care.
we'll take it.
We've
I'll
been there.
take that. I'll take that deal.
I'll take that deal. Yeah, I'll take
Every
that deal.
time I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take that deal for
it's the
sure.
most prestigious cup for clubs. Yeah, I'll take that deal. We've done that deal. We've made that deal with the devil. Actually, you know what? You know what, Patrick's going on? We're paying our dues for making the deal with the devil on that one. So yeah, it's all just desserts. But
Listen,
I
2012 was magical. So
Magic.
for
It
me,
was. That
it's
was the paper.
just
we've
I
done it.
mean,
We've traded the league for the cup. I think Arsenal, honestly, I didn't think Tomiyasu had a good game. I thought
he blew a really good chance at goal after giving up a goal pretty much.
Immediately after. Yeah.
It's nerves, man.
So, and I think Lewis hit the nail on the head there. You have a lot of young players who've never been in any of these situations. Any of these, like nothing like this in their career. Nothing this big. So with all of the hype, with all of the pressure on both wanting to win the league, wanting to be here. Do you deserve to be here? It's Arsenal. You got here rather quickly from where you were last year. And I don't want to say it's nerves. I thought Pep kind of knew, and it's right. It's that old adage, Pep knows Arteta just as much as Arteta knows Pep. And it's the master and the Padawan, and it's still going to be there. And that whole mindset kind of really played into that second half. It was, I know this because whatever it may be, Pep switched it back, and I think that's Man City's draw in this season. They throw some crazy stuff out at the first half, and you're like, what is going on? Because Pep knows what works, and he wants to get the team fixated or used to or in this momentum or in this drive during the game to be like, okay, well, that was a crazy first half City just put out. And then City turns on the switch and then goes, nope, this is typical City play. And then they come out and it's immediate. No, we know what we're doing. We're hitting these balls. We're doing this. So it's like a haha fooled you moment almost, but everyone sees it coming, but everyone still falls into it because it's hard to keep 45 minutes out of your head over the course of the 15 it takes to get through the talk. But it just looked to me, it was the classic, and I didn't want it to be. I wanted Arteta to stand up. I thought this game could have easily gone 1-1 and just left it. I would have loved to have seen that from the neutral. Arsenal losing here, and then in the second half, it truly felt like a master Padawan situation where Pep just kind of knew where it was going, and just filled in the blank as he saw. De Bruyne is a POS in my opinion after this. Like I'm a huge Kevin De Bruyne fan. Bro, if you would have pushed me, if I'm the manager and I kick a ball like that, because like if you'd have pushed me,
They know each other too. They know each other too.
Right,
so.
I'm fighting you. I'm sorry. I'm fighting. I'm pushing you back. We're whole team brawl. I don't care. It's over at that
That's
moment.
why you're not on the sideline, man.
That's why I'm not on the
punching
sideline.
KDB
Right.
in his
The
face.
funny thing is De Bruyne knew he wouldn't do anything back.
Right.
He knew.
Right. He
He
knew
went
it.
right at him because
Yeah.
you could see Arteta was a little rattled there too, and it just.
As a coach, I would have kicked De Bruyne so hard for pushing me or like just made a defense.
I actually, in some of the content I was watching on it, I actually heard that some people think that was intentional. That I got you remember in the chat, I was so mad in the first half. I was so upset with the time wasting and the shithousery and and I think when I heard this opinion that it was intentional, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I think it might have been, because if you look at the each time Arsenal has struggled to score, look at the Newcastle game. Go back and look at the Newcastle game. At the end of that game, when we were struggling to score, we got so frustrated. We were in the ref's face. We were arguing every call, and then in the Everton game, we got really, really frustrated, Not so much at the end of the City game, because City is so much better than everyone, and if you give them a lead at the end of a game, you're not getting it back, for one. And then again in the Brentford game, we got really frustrated, and that's understandably so. But so I think that this might have been a little intentional tactic from Pep. He's like, look, these guys are kids.
Yep.
They are susceptible to they are susceptible to getting rattled. We've seen it recently. So, I think that, as much as I hated it, every single time it comes at us, I will be the first to admit that if we're up 2-1 at the end of this game, we're on the same BS. We are on the same BS. Ramsdale's definitely gonna take a yellow card for time wasting at some point. I can't really get mad at it, even though I was in the moment.
Another point that I thought was interesting that they did in the first half, and they threw it away in the second half like it meant nothing, was having Silva mark Saka the whole freaking game. Well, for the whole first half. And you're like, why would he do that? And he was just being a pest. He literally was like, he didn't have any other purpose.
Job, man. Call it what it was. It was an absolute hack job. Pep's told him to come out there. Pep's told him to come out there and kick him as many times as possible. Silva should have been sent off. He should have been sent off because he had 3 3 fouls
Blatant.
really, really early in the
Blatant.
game, and the ref let it go on that third one. I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, that's the third one. He should be in the book. And it took him like 12 more minutes to get that first yellow. Took
I
him
mean,
like
City had like
12
5
minutes.
yellows in the first half. So I mean, no one. I mean, as a neutral, and I hear you. As a neutral, no one is gonna actually look at the silver thing because everybody else got yellows. Like a bunch of guys got yellows. So as a neutral, you're like, well, he is calling the game. He's penalizing them. But I mean, he was a pain in the butt. Second half, he was nowhere near him, and it
It
did
just changed
enough
it.
to bother
Right.
Saka. Because the thing that gets me is you can see, and unfortunate, I think it's unfair. So, like the World Cup pressure that he faced is a different pressure than this pressure that he faced
Oh,
in the game.
100%.
It was completely
100%.
different. And the thing is, again, Pep was playing mind games. He really was. And the boys were
That's how I
completely
felt.
there for it. Like,
How I
because you
felt.
could see Ederson was doing stupid stuff. You're like, why
Oh,
is he
yeah.
doing that? He didn't do any of that in the second half.
No.
None of, they went right back to character in the second half. So it was, and Pep didn't look nervous about the yellows or anything. He didn't seem bothered at all.
You probably told him to go out there and get some yellows,
Yeah.
But
Rattle him.
to your point, X, about Pep's tinkering, when I really think about it, if I'm a City fan, I love it. I love Pep's tinkering. And here's why. Because what you notice about Pep is that no matter what's going on the field, it's the philosophy that he's building around. It's ideals that he has on the for each position, for the way his team wants to play. You know what? We all know why he put 4 in the midfield. Why Bernardo played this hybrid role. Lewis called it 17 pods ago. Phil Foden's going to play that role at the left back role, the midfield left back role. He just decided to put Silva in there this time, this hybrid, left back. It's just about the space that needs to be covered against the ball. That's why Silva was hacking down Saka, because that's the space he was meant to cover. And
Right.
then on the ball, you have an extra man in the midfield, which matches our extra man in the midfield. So he's literally matched the system and gotten favorable 1v1 matchups. So I think that he's stuck to the philosophies of wanting to clog the midfield, of being a pest, as Lewis says, and even with the tinkering, he's stuck to the philosophy. But I will say that Arsenal were definitely the better team overall in the first half.
100%. 100%.
There were a couple of times, there were 3 or 4 occasions where we really carved them open. It's just when Odegaard gets the ball past the first line of press, we're dangerous. We're always dangerous. But and this is overall in the whole game. We lacked the lethality in the final third. We lacked the finishing. And we won a ton of second balls in that first half. We dominated the second phase of play in that first half. That's one of the reasons why I think they switched away from trying to target Haaland, is because, yes, Haaland absolutely bullied both Gabriel and Saliba. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. He just absolutely bullied both of them. Made Gabriel look foolish on the one where he's got a handful of shirt and he's just spun him around completely, and Gabriel has to get lucky on an offsides that he hasn't given a penalty away, because that's a surefire pin, if that's not offsides. So, but the fact that in the first half we won all those second balls allowed us to retain possession. We pinned them in a couple of times, and Eddie Nketiah just has to finish straight up. That's the only reason you're on the pitch,
He
man.
got some shots. He
He
got some
missed.
great looks.
He should have. If Erling Haaland was wearing red, he's got a hat trick.
Yeah.
He
Straight
should
up.
have had one where
Straight.
he headed it down, and because he was slow to react, he could have, if he had been a little bit quicker, like half a step quicker, one, he would have headed it in, first off, but two, he could have taken it down and taken a shot. And, and I've said this before, and it was my concern about Arsenal is that youth coming into play. Can you play in that moment? And there was a little bit of encouragement from that FA Cup, because you're like, okay, they're at home, they're seeing City for the first time. They played well. City got a goal from Ake to win, right? But Wednesday, you saw just this team knows how to win. This team's learning how to win. And even though they know how to win against those teams that they're better than, you got to learn how to beat the teams that are as good as you, if not better than you. And that takes not only a mentality, but it takes time. But what happened on Wednesday will help Arsenal for years to come,
I think so.
because now they know, okay, we can't play a ball back to the keeper if we think we can't get him to him. We can't let this guy bully us in the midfield. We're gonna have to play stronger in the back. And I think Arsenal will be better for it, but I do think that it was a warning shot from City, like, hey, we're still here. And and I will say this. You were talking about how that's not Pep in terms of no, he had Fernandinho doing that all the time. I could tell you so many times against Chelsea, Fernandinho would get like 12, 13 fouls, never get a card.
Yeah,
They're
never get caught.
tactical fouls.
They're tactical fouls, and he would drive you crazy, but he would never get a card. And he knew exactly what he was doing, and Pep knew exactly what he was doing with him. So, I mean, and Jake, I told you this about Potter. Like, can he create, taking the baseball term, when his fastball's not working? Can he throw change up, curveball, whatever it might be? Pep is not trying to throw his fastball to start. He's trying to throw the curveball. He's trying to throw the change up. And then when he knows, like, it's not hitting, I'm just going to throw 99 past you.
I have a comment and a question. So my comment is, a part of the reason I don't know if you've ever heard this criticism of Pep, but a lot of people have the criticism of Pep that he's predictable. And because he's predictable, I think he took that to heart, because he's accused of tinkering in big games. So what he's decided to do, and if you've noticed it this season, he's tinkered in every game. And the reason he's done that is because then he's teaching the mentality to the team to how to adjust. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna tinker. You just gotta maintain the status quo for the first half, and then I'm gonna let you play how you play. And so I think the tinkering is essentially done for Champions League, because again, that's what they're going for. They're going to tinker and tinker, and they're going to find what works. And if the tinkering helps them score, and then they play their way, that means it's hard for the team to predict what they're going to do. So I think he's doing it to prepare the team for the Champions League. Again, this is not about the league; it's about the Champions League. But my question is I sent you guys the thing that I saw earlier. Thomas Partey. I mean, the guy, I didn't know until I saw it. He's missed every big game Arsenal's had. That's huge, man. So I'm guess my question is what do they do, because they got a lot of games coming still.
Look, a lot of Arsenal fans are up in arms about this, and again, man, I'm starting to realize that I've been watching more and more content as we do this podcast. A lot of Arsenal fans are like that. It's almost fair weather, man, because they're anytime anything goes wrong, it's Chicken Little, the sky's falling. Anytime Jorginho had a good enough game that I haven't even mentioned it.
Agent Georgie.
That's what I was about
you're
to
supposed
say.
to do. No, when you are a center defensive midfielder, a true CDM like Jorginho is, and that's definitely what he's supposed to play in this role. His very first touch, I cursed his name, and I was like, Roman Abramovich, plant. He was better for the rest of the game. He was better for the rest of the game. I thought Jorginho was decent. You cannot you cannot put this game down to not having Thomas Partey in. Yes, Partey is injury prone and he's magnificent when he's healthy and on the field, and it sucks when we don't have him. Yes, I would rather have Thomas Partey in there over Jorginho, but this game is not on Georgie. He did his job.
Right.
Others didn't.
Yep.
And one other person that I think deserves mention. Actually, two that I want to mention. First off, I know this is low hanging fruit, but Kevin De Bruyne with just absolute ice in the veins, man. Just yes, Tomiyasu has played the worst ball of his career.
That's a
Right.
hard shot, man.
Absolute perfect
But-
technique.
That ball was insanely
But
difficult.
still, yeah.
That
It hit
that
him, like,
could
in
have
his
rolled up
shin.
his up to his
Even-
knee.
Even by KDB's ridiculously high standard, this is a magnificent goal. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a fantastic goal. Don't get it twisted. I cried, but it was awesome. You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
And then another thing that Lewis, I know you just, I almost like I could see you mimicking Jackie Grealish when he's gotten this goal and just had the utmost for the badge celebration you've ever seen. Runs over to the fans and gives a primal scream of
Yep.
exultation and almost rage. He's just like,
He was gonna take
love
his
to see
shirt
that.
off, but he had a
Yeah.
yellow because
Yeah.
everybody got yellows already.
Instant red.
I know you absolutely loved to see that
I
because
did.
during that goal, I don't know if you saw there was one quick glimpse of the fans during that goal. They caught Big Steve on the I mean he's all over YouTube. They caught him celebrating in the front row, just going nuts. It was I mean, I had to smile in spite of what was going on just to see the passion and for Grealish of all
He
people
needs it. He
to be
needs
the
it.
guy. Yeah.
Can you imagine how smug Pep felt though when he scored?
Yeah, of course.
He was just like,
Pep's over there going,
"Yep,
Well,
yep."
I'm gonna give you two takes on it, and I'll be quick about it. The first take is right before he scored that goal. I'm like, get Grealish off the field because he refuses to cross the ball into Holland. Because the only person who passes the ball to Holland is De Bruyne, which is insane. Him and Gundogan are the only ones who passes the man the ball. The other wingers don't do it. They dribble and attack and do nothing with the ball. And Grealish was doing that. He was attacking fine, but I'm like, Holland's right there, give him the ball. And I'm like, look, if he don't score right now, you got to take him out. And then De Bruyne did what De Bruyne did, passed it to Holland, and Holland did what exactly Holland was supposed to do. He passed it again. And I mean, it did take a deflection.
Yeah.
but don't take
And
away from Gundogan either. That
Yeah,
that one
Gundogan-
touch, no
because
look play.
because
Yeah.
that man is ridiculous. But I think I called it in lineup. I said he was going to start. He sees everything. He's not his speed and his stuff is not the same. But you put him in a game that matters. Oh, he's going to deliver.
I can't
And
believe how cheap y'all got him too.
think about what he was before he came. He was like he
Right.
had a major knee issue. I mean,
Mhm.
it was that's on the physios, man. The
Yeah.
physios. Because his first year at City, he was awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it took a deflection, but it went in for Jack, and he needed that. He really needed that goal. Because Pep keeps playing him. I mean, I get it. He is in form, but he doesn't create from the wing, and you have to create from the wing, and he doesn't do that. So I was happy for him, and I was also glad he came out so Foden could play.
I absolutely think that I agree with everything there. He definitely needed this one, and it's. I mean, even when it's against my team, it's just good to see the man, just so full, so up for the occasion, so like that's just what you feel when you score a goal, especially in a big game, and to see that. That's what the fans want to see. That's why we're doing this podcast.
Yep.
That's what you want to see.
100%.
Mhm.
That's
Um,
it. 100%.
But one final thought, and we'll move on. Here's the rub. Here's the end all be all in this game. And it perfectly mirrors the season as a whole for me. Arsenal had a good 20 minutes there at the end of the first half where we had them. We had them down. We sucker punched them with the penalty. We've got them in the jaw. They're on the ground. We've got them pegged back. We've got them pinned back. Eddie's missing shots. We're blasting shots into row C19, trying to hit that Tottenham fan again.
Hit that Tottenham fan.
You know, when you have City down, we were 8 points clear. We were 8 points clear. When you have City down like a wounded animal, you got to put them out.
Oh, you
got
have to.
put them down.
Capitalize,
You absolutely 100% have to put them out of their misery because look where we are now. And I've been saying it. I said it the whole time. You know, yes, I love the banter. I love I love to talk the BS. Arsenal's gonna win. You know, you'll be loving that next season when we're champions. Blah blah blah. But I knew you can't give them an inch. And not only has it shown in them overtaking the deficit, but our very first mistake of the game, we're down 1-0. And then what happened in the second half? They reverted to what they do. They pressed well, and we gave up 2 more mistakes, 2 more goals.
You have to
And you could tell,
capitalize
and
on
again,
mistakes.
just like the end of the first game, you could tell at the end of this game, 5, 6, 7 minutes to go, we're down 3-1. Never looked like getting back into it. The game was done. So I said it then, I'll say it again now. If City have a lead in the league or in the game at the end of the season, at the end of the game, done.
Well, I need that in Champions League, damn it.
And that's the very, very last point I'll make. If City, after this performance, after standing up and being like, look, we don't care who you are. We don't care how good you're playing. Make a mistake in front of us. We're going to put you down like you couldn't put us down. That's what De Bruyne did. That's what Grealish did. That's what Haaland did. Let's not get it twisted. Haaland's goal was sick as well. That first one to get it back and then he immediately rips it. Yeah. So
with his right foot.
If y'all don't win,
because he's pure striker. He's a
for
pure
me,
striker.
For me, it's your Champions League to lose.
Oh yeah.
Y'all better not lose this Champions League.
I
They'll
agree.
lose.
The only thing that can stop them is an injury.
Yep, 100%. I'm with you.
Or Chelsea again.
No, we don't get that again. That doesn't happen again.
Madrid.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I think that was fantastic. It's been a good one. This has been the For the Badge podcast.
Absolutely.
You know what time it is. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell on. It's definitely been a good one. I've enjoyed it. Hope you have as well. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.